It's like impossible to eat a whole noodle in one bite. Hello everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another mukbang video. If you guys are unfamiliar with mukbang videos, these are eating shows where I eat with you and I chat and I eat and I chat, and that's pretty much the gist of it all, okay? So if you don't like eating sounds, if you don't like watching people eat, this is probably not the video for you to watch. But if you do enjoy mukbang videos, then hi, my name is Rose and we are doing another episode of Munching Mondays, which is my mukbang series. Today's menu is a delicious, well, hopefully delicious vegan lasagna Alfredo. So by using lasagna noodles as my pasta, I made an Alfredo sauce, and I thought it would be really fun to eat like really thick noodles with a delicious creamy Alfredo sauce. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And of course the Alfredo sauce is 100% vegan, and I filmed the recipe in a what I ate in a day video, which will be going out I think after this video. So I will link that down below once the time comes. It'll be the next video probably, so stay tuned for that. But also I do have other Alfredo recipes, so I'll link whatever I have below. It's pretty much very similar. So, oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh, my mouth is watering. And then I have a salad, okay, because you gotta eat some greens, okay? So I got some greens, some olives, there are cucumbers, tomatoes, and some pumpkin seeds, because we got to have that nutrition. By the way, I'm sure you guys have noticed I'm trying out a new background. I don't know what you guys think. The TV is a bit distracting for me because it's super glaring, but if it doesn't distract you, I do like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I like change. So here we go. This is something a bit different. Yeah, let me know if it's bothering you, if you don't like it, let me know, okay? Okay, so I'm just gonna try this out because I can't wait. So, ooh, this one is a smaller piece. Let's get a bigger piece. Okay, let's do this right. I have a giant spoon here that I mixed in the lasagna with. I just thought it would be so fun to eat like super thick noodles for a mukbang. Oh my god, how is this gonna work? This might not be a very pretty mukbang. That is so good. Oh my god. There's something about lasagna noodles. I was looking for, you know the ones that look like thinner lasagna noodles? What are those called? I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Wow, this is so good, you guys. It's definitely not like, you know, ladylike, let's just be real, but who cares? So to drink, this is not sponsored, but I have this bubbly grapefruit. This is like the sparkling water that Michael Bublé always advertises. Oh, let's do that like ASMR stuff. Ah. And I realized my mic is here, so that was pointless. So this is a sparkling water that's flavored. And normally I'm not like a big fan of sparkling waters, but this one is so good. All right, let's have one more bite of this lasagna and then we can have some salad as well. There's something about really thick noodles that I really like. All right, let's have some salad. So guys, I just use balsamic vinegar for a dressing. Salad and pasta are such good combinations. This pasta is like super, I don't know. How do I describe? Words come to me. Pasta is like just super thick and gooey and carby. So it's nice to have like a salad to like balance it out. I also have a pickle. There's a word in Korean. If you're Korean, you know. The word is 느끼해. 느끼해. And it's one of those words that can't be translated in English. I don't know if there's other cultures with the same word, but basically in English you can't translate this word. And it's so hard to describe. But basically, when you eat something like super creamy and super thick and super heavy, like usually maybe it's like really greasy or too creamy, like there's a lot of heavy cream, you could say like that dish is 느끼해. Means it kind of makes you feel a little bit like inside. So then Korean people, in order to counteract the 느끼해, you eat something like refreshing, like a pickle. Not that this is 느끼해, but it can be if you eat too much of that without anything else, which is why I have salad and pickle to kind of like trick those taste buds. The word is also used to describe like people. It's not really a good word. You don't want to be described as 느끼해. Usually it's used kind of just to describe like a man that's like creepy or something, or just like someone that kind of makes you go, like, it's hard to describe. So there's no word equivalent in English, but Koreans use that word all the time. If you speak another language other than English, is there a word that you cannot translate into English? Like it's almost impossible to translate into English because there's so many words in the Korean language that are like that. I think I talked about it before. This is so good, guys. I wanted to tell you guys a story of when I almost died in Brazil. Guys, I'm being a bit overdramatic, but not completely overdramatic, so hear me out. Oh my god, my phone. It's like impossible to eat a whole noodle in one bite. Or maybe my mouth is just small. Oh my, it's so good. All right, let me tell you the story. So when I was in Brazil, you guys know I went to Brazil recently. I got back like a couple of weeks ago. So I was staying in Sao Paulo with my friend. My friend lives in Sao Paulo. She lives in this like gated community. It's outside of Sao Paulo, I should say. It's not in Sao Paulo, it's like a suburb of Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo, if you didn't know, is the biggest city in Brazil and also I think in South America. Anyways, so her mom and her live together currently slightly outside of Sao Paulo. So every day they both drive to work. So they both have cars, the two of them. They each have their own car. So her mom works a little bit close to one of the airports in Sao Paulo. And Thais, my friend, she works in downtown or like the financial area of Sao Paulo. When I was over there, I was staying with them. And I was planning on going to Foz do Iguazu, which is the Iguazu Falls, which is the famous waterfalls, which you guys will see some footage of in my vlog channel if you guys want to subscribe to that. So I booked a flight to Foz do Iguazu and I was supposed to leave in one of the mornings. Now the original plan, because my friend's mom works near the airport, of which I was going to that airport, I was originally going to get in her car and go near her work and then get an Uber from near her work so I could get to the airport. Instead of taking an airport all the way from Thais's place, which is pretty far away from the airport. So it would make it more sense for me to get in the car of Thais's mom and go near her work and then take an Uber, which would only take like a few minutes from there. So that was the original plan. So I was supposed to go with her mom, the two of us, in the car, get to the airport, all that stuff. Her mom does not really speak, I think she understands English, but she doesn't really speak English. I don't speak Portuguese at all, so we would probably just sit there in silence. But anyways, so that was the original plan, and then Thais was just gonna go and take her car to her work, because Thais works in Sao Paulo. But since I was over there, I was on vacation, Thais wanted to take me out. So the night before I was supposed to catch my flight, we actually ended up going out to this like rooftop bar in Sao Paulo called Terrazzo Italia, I think, with a really nice view. And so we went out the night before, and I remember she was debating whether or not she should drink at all, since the place we were going to was in Sao Paulo, so we would have to drive back to her place afterwards. So either she doesn't drink and she drives her car back to her home and then head to work the next day, or she can drink with me, leave her car at work, and then we would take an Uber back to her place. So then the next day she would just get a ride with her mom to somewhere closer so she could take an Uber to Sao Paulo. Does this all make sense? So basically the plan was either to drink or not to drink for Thais. And I was on the team of drink and we can just take an Uber back because, you know, I want to have fun. You know, I want her to enjoy her time. I don't want her to feel like she has to drive me. And, you know, it's pretty easy to take an Uber. So we decided that actually she was just going to leave her car at work and we would drink and then we would just take an Uber back. So we went out. We went to Terrazzo Italia. We drank. We had a good time. We took an Uber back. Everything was fine and dandy. So the next day, we all got up early so her mom could drive us, basically me closer to her work, and then Thais would get off somewhere before that and take an Uber to her work into Sao Paulo. And Thais lives kind of in this like secluded looking area where you have to like drive through like a forest, these windy roads, and it gets into this gated community and there's a lot of greenery. It's very beautiful. So you have to drive past all of that to get into like the highway and all of that stuff. So her mom started driving and Thais was in the front seat obviously and I was in the back, and Thais is talking, and you know, I don't know if you guys have heard people speaking Portuguese or Brazilian people speaking Portuguese, but it sounds very passionate. It sounds very like they mean what they say. I don't know how to describe it. Sometimes you can't really tell if they're like yelling or angry or something. You're just kind of like, oh, they just sound very passionate. You know, they sound like they, you know, really mean what they're saying. You know what I mean? So Thais is talking and she sounds, you know, the usual passionate, and I'm just kind of like, you know, zoning out, whatever. Not really noticing much. And then I notice that it's a little bit off. Like, you know, she sounds passionate, but she also kind of sounds angry. So I'm like, oh my God, maybe they're having like a fight. Who knows, right? I'm just kind of still minding my own business. So I'm still minding my own business. We're driving through these like forest roads. It's a little bit windy. And then I noticed her mom is not saying anything at all at this point. Okay? Thais is talking. Can't tell if she's angry, mad, just talking normally. But her mom's just not saying anything. She just kind of looks very serious. It's just driving. And then what I notice is that her mom is swerving. The way she's driving is very fast, and she starts bumping into like, what are those like bumpers in the, are they called bumpers? Those like stoppers on the side of the road. Those little, yes, whatever they're called. She starts like bumping into them. And then this is when I really notice that Thais is actually freaking out. She's not just speaking Portuguese. She's actually freaking out. Yeah, she starts freaking out because her mom's driving a bit funny. She's driving fast, it's dangerous. And then at first I thought, is she angry? Like, is that why she's driving like this? But it was just weird. So I said to Thais, I was like, Thais, are you okay? Like, is she okay? And Thais says, no, she's not okay. She's not okay. She's not well. And then I was like, oh God, what's happening? So she keeps driving. Thais is still talking to her in Portuguese. And it seems like she wasn't listening. It seems like she wasn't paying attention. It seemed like she was completely zoned out. Like she wasn't paying any attention. She looked either mad or completely zoned out, just not focused, not present. So we were very confused. Thais is freaking out. For some reason, I'm relatively calm, probably because I can't speak Portuguese. So I'm trying to like, you know, gauge the situation. I'm trying to observe. She is driving super fast. We're driving down these roads. She keeps bumping into the sides, and then we're like kind of freaking out at this point. Let's break this. There we go. And then Thais is yelling at this point. She's yelling, stop the car, stop the car. I don't speak Portuguese, but I kind of got that. She's yelling, stop the car, stop the car. Her mom, not listening. Not listening. And at this point, we were almost out of that like forest area. Like lucky for us, there were no cars in that area. So that area is pretty quiet because it's like the road to the residential area. So it's like, it's not that busy in that area. But once you get out, there's cars everywhere. Okay? Once you get out, there's cars everywhere. So we were so worried at this point. We're like, oh my God, like we're gonna crash. You know, we're just thinking we're gonna crash. Like this is bad. We don't know what's happening. She's not listening. We don't know what's going on, you know? At this point, Thais is yelling so loud. She's freaking out. She's like crying. And finally, when we get out of that forest area, she finally stops. I don't know what happened, but she finally stopped somewhere in front of another kind of residential gate. And lucky for us, because that area, there's gonna be cars everywhere. You know, there's gonna be cars, there's an intersection, so there's cars coming from all directions. So we got very lucky in that she stopped at that moment. And then there's actually another car that stopped behind us, and he came up to us and he basically told Thais that he started following our car because we were swerving so bad. So he was like concerned. He was like, what's going on? He knew there was something up, you know? So then her mom kind of like slides out of the driver's seat and sits in the passenger seat. And then Thais gets into the passenger seat. Thais is crying. She's upset, obviously. I was freaking out. Obviously, Thais is more upset because it's her mom and she doesn't know what's going on. Someone, a guard that works at the gated community or the gated area, he comes up to us and he starts talking to her mom, asking her questions. And she sounds like, when she's responding, she sounds like she's sleepwalking or something. I don't know if you've ever heard anyone speaking when they're sleepwalking, but it's like, clearly they're not able to speak, and it's like slurry. It sounds like they're basically like sleeping, you know? She sounds like she's sleepwalking. I mean, I wasn't sure what was going on. Thais thought she was having a stroke. I thought, oh my God, is she having some like episode of dementia? I don't know. I don't know anything about dementia. I should probably not assume that, but I was just like, what's going on? And then after that thought, I was like, it can't be that. I was thinking, you know, maybe it's like a side effect of like a medication that she took. Maybe she took a really strong medication and she was having a side effect. So at that point we start driving to the hospital. Thais is driving, she's crying, she's calling her relatives, like she's trying to figure out what's going on. And I was basically like, is your mom, like, is she on a medication or something? And then it turns out that she thinks, she was talking to her aunt who's like a doctor, and her aunt was saying that she thinks that it was a sleeping pill. As soon as she said sleeping pill, I was like, oh my God, that must be what it is. She must have accidentally taken a sleeping pill. Thais said her mom usually takes some other kind of medication, and she said she must have gotten it mixed up with her sleeping pill. So she gets her aunt on the phone, and her aunt and her mom are talking, and her aunt basically says right away, she's like, based on her voice and the way she sounds, it's definitely a sleeping pill. So we get to the hospital, she's doing tests. At this point, like, I need to go and like take an Uber to the airport. So I leave, and later on, yes, lo and behold, it was a sleeping pill, and a very strong one at that, you know, which is insane. I didn't realize that sleeping pills could be that powerful and that scary because basically her mom like couldn't even remember talking to the guy that had like come up to us at the where we stopped. She couldn't remember talking to him. She said she had no control. Apparently, this is after the fact, obviously. She said she had no control over her body almost. It was like she could hear Thais talking, but she couldn't like comprehend it. And then when Thais asked her, like, why did she actually stop? Apparently, it's because Thais was freaking out so much that she just like, I guess like she just felt the need to stop. I don't know. But yeah, that happened. Oh my God, this Alfredo sauce, it's so good. So yeah, that's how I almost died in Brazil. The crazy part is, the reason why I told you that first part of the story that you were like, why are you telling me this? About how they usually operate, how Thais normally goes to work in her car and her mom goes to work in her car. So they'd go two separate cars, two separate ways. The reason why I told you this is because it's crazy how lucky we actually were, because first of all, usually her mom is in that car by herself going to work. She normally goes to work by herself almost every single day, pretty much every single day. And not only that, original plan was that I was supposed to go with her, and only me and her were supposed to go together near her work. And Thais was gonna take her car. So I would have been in the car by myself with her mom who does not speak English and I don't speak Portuguese, and then I wouldn't know what the hell's going on. Imagine that. Imagine if it was just me and her mom in her car in that situation. I don't even want to think about it. That's so scary to think about. So it was kind of perfect. The fact that Thais drank the night before actually allowed us to all be alive and survive, because if she didn't drink, she would have been in her car going to her work, and I would have been with her mom, and her mom would be driving, and I wouldn't know what was happening or what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy that the one day that her mom accidentally took a sleeping pill instead of her other medication, the one day, that was the day that we were in the car with her, and thank God we were with her, because imagine her being by herself, like she would have crashed. 100% she would have crashed. There's no way, the way she was driving, she would have crashed 100%, I feel like. Oh, thank God. Like, the more I think about it, I get like chills, because I'm like, oh my God. I mean, out of an unfortunate situation, this is a very fortunate situation. Do you know what I mean? So yes, praise the Lord. So yeah, her mom's fine now. Whew, thank God. It was very traumatizing. So lesson of the day, if you have sleeping pills, please keep them separately. Keep them far, far away from your other medications. Make sure it is properly marked. Okay, because no one should have to go through that. That was crazy. That's so dangerous. So keep it separate, keep it separately marked, because apparently that can happen. That's insane. It's insane what can happen when you are on a sleeping pill. So another lesson of the day, when your friend is visiting you, go out for a drink with them, because it may save people's lives. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. Whew. So yeah, that is the story of how I almost died in Brazil. I shouldn't laugh. At that time, it was very scary. Okay, it was very, very scary at that time. All right, you guys, so that's pretty much it for my mukbang video today. I hope you guys enjoyed eating with me. I hope you enjoyed the story. And if you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, if you guys are new to this channel and if you enjoy mukbang videos or other vegan content, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!